So tonight we have kind of a small group. So I'm assuming I would love to think everybody's celebrating the Buddha's birthday all week long. And they're just like so wrapped up into it, they just can't even leave the house. But chances are they're at Cinco de Mayo. That's right. They're like slurring their words, telling everybody, I love you so much. But tonight when we go into our meditation, the theme for this month is reflection. And it's so interesting. Jack and I, we were just having a really interesting conversation about the closing of life. And that's a lot of reflection. When we hit those times, there's always these moments where it's like looking, we want to be able to look back, but not turn into a pillar of salt. So, that's a really interesting story in the Bible about Lot's wife and how she's instructed not to look back, and she just can't help herself, and she looks back and she turns into a pillar of salt. So, and I've thought a lot about that analogy of, it's not even an analogy, but this parable. I think that everything in there are stories to be able to help us kind of create meaning in our life. And so when we are looking back, we lose our ability to be able to move forward. We lose our ability to be able to move in the direction of where we need to go. When you do Iyengar yoga, it's very interesting. Carlin, our Iyengar instructor here, she will have you always look straight ahead. And so sometimes when I do balancing postures, I have this tendency of wanting to look down on the floor because I think that that's going to give me more balance. And actually, when I look straight ahead, it's like I know where I'm going and I have more balance, I have more trajectory. So we want to look in the direction where we're headed with things. With that being said, we want to reflect. And we want to reflect enough. It's like, how do we take the lessons that are brought into our life and give us enough time, enough pause, enough retrospective view of things in order to course correct so that we can get back on again and go forward again. That's really kind of how that reflection needs to go. So when we're going into meditation, is there anybody that's never meditated in here before? Oh, really? You've never meditated?
I've done yoga.
Oh, okay. All right.
In the sound bowls.
I know. Okay. You'll be fine. If you can be still in my sessions, you can do this just fine. So you're fine, except for poor Jack. He'll be all over the place, so antsy, unable to sit still. So we don't have anybody in here that I feel like I need to say, if you're uncomfortable in your skin, you can lie down. But if you do feel like you're in that space, if that does start to happen to you, you're welcome to do that. Just make sure you keep your feet on the floor and the knees to the ceiling so that you don't fall asleep. Because there's a difference between a nap and meditation. My husband, he waxes and wanes on that a little bit. So but he does the best that he can. So we want to bring in some imagery with our meditation tonight for this idea of reflection. The whole goal of everything that we do is to become the best version of whatever it is that we can be to contribute at a really nice high vibration for the betterment of all mankind. I mean, that really should be everything that we are doing on a regular basis. And that, it even includes just going to the grocery store, be kind to people, be kind everywhere you go, try to make everybody better than they were when you first met them. That's one of Quentin's teachers. He talks a million miles a minute. He's a hypnotist, well-known hypnotist, and he talks so fast that you're almost like, how do you? But he's a very interesting man. But his whole thing is like, it's almost like the leave no trace policy, whereas like when you go camping and you clean up the forest, you make it prettier than if somebody destroyed it. That's this guy's motto for every single person that he comes into contact with. And he talks a million miles a minute, so like you can't help but smile at everything that he's saying because you're like, I don't even know what you're saying. It's just happy and jovial and blah, blah, blah. So that's really everything that we should be focusing on as human beings is how can we make the rest of this world better. My husband and I this weekend, we went to do a bunch of bowl and gong work for people that are in recovery, and it was a 3-day retreat that they had there, and it was all for men, and I was the only girl, and which was kind of cool actually, because it was like we had this kind of, I don't know how to explain it other than like this kind of like this little mother energy that kind of showed up for people who are, you know, really struggling, and there's like a lot of sadness in these people's lives. And to see these guys like really just want to be the best version of themselves, you know, and like they're really trying, like they're really, really trying, and they fail and they fall backwards and then they get better again, and that's just life, right? That's the ebb and the flow of life. And so to be able to be around people who are so dedicated to helping one another be great was really beautiful, like really, really, really beautiful. And so that's how I left that weekend, just kind of really caught up in the beauty of men wanting to help and nurture other men. It was just like really, really cool. I don't know how else to explain it, but it gave me a lot of hope, you know, that the world isn't as cynical. Nobody talked about the news, like none of that existed there. And there was, you know, over 100 people there, and it was just like, they just want to help each other and be the best version of whatever it is that they can be to help the person next to them or across from them or whatever the case may be. All right, so let's go ahead and get ourselves all ready for our meditation. So we're going to sit up nice and tall. We're going to tuck our chin a little bit. And the eyes are nice and gently closed. And you can have your palms face down or palms face up with chin mudra, which is your thumb and index finger barely touching if you choose to. You can also put your palms in your lap. If you feel that more feminine energy, your left hand goes underneath your right. If it's more masculine, then your right goes underneath your left, okay? And it's a little chilly in here tonight, so this is my preferred way to meditate when it's a little bit chilly, because I feel like I keep myself in a little bit more and it's a little bit warmer. So, and then lifting the crown of the head toward the ceiling. And then again, just making sure that the chin stays tucked. And checking in with your teeth, making sure that they're not touching. Loosening your jaw a little bit, making sure that the tongue is nice and loose in the mouth. And then even trying to put a little soft smile on your face. It doesn't have to be a tight grimace, just a nice little soft smile. And with those eyes being closed, we want them so lightly closed. Sometimes there will be an inclination to open up your eyes, and that's okay. And then you can just let them fall back shut. There might be a little bit of light coming in through the space and the crease of your eyelids, and that's okay too. I would actually prefer that rather than them being smashed shut. Just checking in with your breathing right now. Focusing on the tip of your nose, feeling the air coming in through your nostrils. Feeling the air hit the back of your throat. Following it down to the expansion of your lungs and your diaphragm. Being aware of the beating in your heart, of your heart. If you can't find it in your chest, find it in your ear or your neck, and then just follow it down. Feel our physical body and our emotional self be nice and regulated, stillness coming over everything. Now we can give instructions to our mind. I'd like you to think about something that you did either today or over the last few days that was just a little bit kind for another human being. It could have just been a hello. It could have been a telephone call. Or a text. It might have been an actual physical act. Just pick one thing. Resist the temptation to critique anything. Now think about the person that you did it for and just the act of the kindness in one way or another, that positive impact. Again, this doesn't have to be grandiose. Maybe just seeing the smile on their face or the mode of appreciation. So now we're going to kind of embellish that just a little bit. If there's just one thing that you could maybe embellish from that situation, like it made their entire day or it helped them so much, if whatever XYZ, just create whatever that is and the emotion attached to that. Now, if your mind starts to jump around and tries to tell you that this isn't important, go right back to it. Again, no critiquing. Now, if you can allow the emotion or the feeling to get nice and strong for yourself, the feeling, this good feeling that you created, allow it to permeate through you. Now, if you have another situation where you feel like you've acted selflessly and with love for another human being, you can reflect on that memory as well. Try not to go too fast through these. Really allow yourself the time to sit with the good feeling that you created with them, for them, and then for you by doing that act. Start to break the concentration of the imagery that you've created and go back to your breathing. So you can feel yourself breathing in, and you can feel yourself breathing out. And you can break your concentration completely and start to bring some movement back into your body. Please allow your eyes to open last. Okay, so there's a practice that I've taught for a long, long time, and it's called the 4 steps of karma. And so that is the 4th step, the one that we just did, and it's the hardest one. And so now we'll go backwards, and I'll share the other 3 steps with you. So, and the reason why it's hard is because we forget. We do things and then we don't reflect back on them. And that reflection, especially at night before you go to bed, super, super important, because it's the thing that actually generates what you want. When you go to sleep at night, it's very interesting what's happening to you physiologically. There's these phases with your brain waves that are happening. Your body's going through this incredible like detox mode with your liver. And I think of the brain almost the whole body like a computer that's being defragged. I don't know if anybody knows how to defrag a computer anymore. I don't think anybody actually does it, but it's a thing. So if you're my age, you know what that is. So all of these things are happening, and if you go to bed and you have the positive thing that you have contributed to another person before you go to bed, in your mind, it will start to generate almost like boomerangs of karma out there for you. And it's really an amazing, amazing thing. And it's tested and tried and true. So if you want things to happen in your life, whatever that is, the best ways to do this are, first, you have to know what you want. Sometimes we don't know what we want. Sometimes we have like a vague idea of what we want. And we could say things like, I want money, or I want a relationship, or I want a big house, or blah, blah, blah. But it's clear that we always are really good at knowing what we don't want, but we're not as good at knowing what we do want, you know? So getting more clear, using the list of what I don't want to help me clear up the things that I really desire in my life, okay? So I can start to say that in a positive way instead of it just being like, I don't want this, I don't want that, I want blah, 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 blah. So then we can say positively, these are the things that I'm looking for in my life. So that's step number 1. Step number 2 is find somebody who wants something that you want. So you don't have to, I've said this a million times, but if my desire is just unlimited ice cream, and my favorite ice cream is pistachio ice cream, it doesn't mean I need to find another person who wants pistachio ice cream. Maybe they like, you know, I don't know, spumoni. Maybe they're like, I don't know. You know, there's like a whole bunch of different kinds, right? They got different, and it's fine. We both want the same thing, okay? Then the 3rd step is that I do something to help them regularly, fairly consistently. Then this is something that should be, and you don't have to be like, you know, overtly honest, like obvious about it. But you can just say, I'm doing this nice act for this person. I'm going to give an analogy about that in a moment. And then the 4th step is the most important step, which is that meditation that we just did. And it's the one that everybody forgets to do. So then the karma doesn't get to like explode like popcorn. That's what makes it explode like popcorn, is that meditation. So it's really important that you do it. And here's the joke, I forget to do it all the time. And my husband never forgets. And so like everything just rains down on him like some sort of, I don't know what it is. Like he's just lucky. but it's not. He like understands this. I taught it to him, and he like understands it so well that I'm like, can I just ride your coattails? I guess, I don't know. But so I forget to do it. And I think some of that comes down to there is a self-esteem issue that shows up inside of us sometimes, that we think that the things that we're doing are really not that big of a deal, or I shouldn't be bragging or boasting or something along those lines, right? Something like that. And so there can be some faulty conditioning in there that prevents us from doing things like that. But it is very, very important. So the monk that Quentin and I learned this from, he always says, if you want a partner, like say you want a really good relationship, then you go to the nursing home. So that's his thing, is the nursing home. He's like, there's people in the nursing home that are just very, very lonely, and they just need somebody to come and show them some love. They just need somebody to come and like show them love. So he's like, if everybody understood this, there would never be a lonely person at the nursing home, because everybody would adopt a grandma or a grandpa and just be nice to them all the time. And because the karma then will come back to you. If you give love and respect and nurturing to another person selflessly without any other reason, right, then that you can't help it. It's like that's just gonna come back to you. But the caveat is, if you do it for a selfish reason, and then you just say, oh, now I've got the partner, and forget this old person and flick them off, then that relationship will die. And so you need to be coming from the right place, okay? So that's why everything that you do should be coming from the right place, not like a selfish, like, I'm just going to do this so I can whatever, My husband, he gives homeless people money all the time. And it's always coming from the right place. He does work with people in recovery. He knows how fragile like the psyche can be and how people can just fall apart. And so when he gives them money, it's always coming from this place of like, this person just took like too many wrong turns, and then this is where their life is. Like, it's just like nothing but love and compassion. So everything always comes back to him a millionfold over that, just because he really genuinely comes from that place. You know what I mean? So, and that's with everything. So I want you guys to practice that. So this is week number 1 for reflection, and your assignment is to do the 4 steps of karma. Reflect every day on all the good things that you did. I used to teach kids how to pray. Not kids, but like I don't know, late teens, early 20 age kids. And what I would tell them is, when you go, and I shouldn't say I taught them to pray, I would guide them on Melissa's way of praying, which I think is very good. So when you wake up in the morning, it's like, this is what I would tell them. I'm like, just tell God you just want to be God's hands today. Like, whatever it is you need me to do, point me in the right direction, I'll do it. And then that's it. I'm not going to grovel. I'm not going to beg for things. I'm not going to ask for anything, because you're smarter than me. You know my life pretty well. We're good. Then at the end of the day, just reflect on all the good things that you did before you go to bed. So it's like a return and report. And so it's like, oh, I did this, and I did this, and I did this. And it's so that you're getting your brain oriented to be able to live the highest vibrational frequency that you can live. I mean, that's really it. And it's that simple. So, okay. All right, you guys. So I will see everybody next week. We do have a couple things coming up. This Thursday is the National Day of Prayer. I cannot stress that enough. I just all day talking about being reflective. Whatever your intention is for peace, for the world, for compassion, whatever it is, then I really am asking everybody to just, anytime you think about it, oh, it's Thursday, it's the National Day of Prayer, then set that intention and that prayer in your heart again, and like, oh, it's Thursday, that's right. Oh, it's Thursday, okay. And we're just gonna do that, and we're gonna assume that everybody in the United States is praying, and we're linking arms with them, and we're just sending that vibration out, right? And we're gonna do good things all over the world with that. So please focus on that. And then this Saturday, we do not have Reiki share because I had a scheduling conflict. I have a teacher that's going to be doing a restorative yoga and Reiki class Saturday night, and I really wanted her to have an opportunity to do that. So if you have not signed up for that, there's a discount if you do it early. I think it's $35 in advance and $40 at the door. And so that's at 6:30 this Saturday. If you have any kids that are in kids yoga, we have that on Saturday from 12 to 1. And then next Saturday, it's the Canyon Lake trip. We have to sign up in advance. You want to talk to Quentin about that or email us. And then last but not least, I have a pendulum class on the last day of the month, or not the last day, last Saturday of the month, on the 30th of May. So if you want to know how to use a pendulum, you want to talk to me. It's a fun class. All right, everybody. Yes, you want to know? You want to know?
I just want to say that, well, two things. You look really good, whatever you're doing, keep it up.
Thanks, Jack. You're so nice.
Friday, that light thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, did you love it?
Yes.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
I hope you bring that back.
Yeah, he came last year too.
I don't know, my wife dragged me to it, but.
Oh, good. That was a good drag then.
Yeah, are you going to have those guys back?
They come once a year. Yeah, they travel all over the place. Yep, they just got their like traveling show, and then they tell me when they are in town, and we book them. So I'm glad that you liked it, Jack.
I think a year is enough. I think maybe two.
Okay, I'll let them know. I think they're from California, but I'm not really sure because they're all over the place. So I'll talk to Drew. All right, cool, you guys. Thank you. I'll see y'all next week. Okay, bye. Thank you.